that I stay in range here. Make sure that I stay. Hi, Susie. Just getting myself together here. Let's get my light set here. That one glare right there. Well, whatever. I did a thing. I got my nails done. And I cut my hair. I just went crazy today. I thought I'd show you guys how I get my kind of coloring techniques here. And I'm not going to use fairies for this one because not everybody has fairies. I'm going to use some little animals, but honestly, you could use whatever you have. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Chow. So I'm going to start out by just taking this piece of copy paper and I'm going to try and rip some little hills in it. I guess I better set it down like this. I like to do it this way because you have the mask side too. So see, the two sides match. And I'll also use that as my bopping paper. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Bristol Smooth cardstock. And what you want to do is, sorry, I have to get used to having nails. I'm not used to it. You want to start by thinking about your composition. Lord, why is it hot? The system can't decide whether it's going to be hot or cold. And I'm going to be using my tree stamp again from the Stampscape Set 6 because it's basically the only pine tree I have. And it is going to be my focal point. So when I'm stamping on here, I'm going to want to make sure I get it in the center. And I will be trimming off the sides, but in order to get it nice and centered, I'm going to pull this back so that I've got my basic grid here that I can see. And I'm going to stamp first my tree. And I'm going to work everything else around it. And what I like to do to line this up is see how this has a little grid in it too. I like to line it up with the grid because it doesn't have, like Tim Holtz stamps, it doesn't have a side, this side, so you can see where you're stamping. So I'm just going to lay this on here and I'm going to stamp it with Shady Lane. And I'm not going to cover, come on, I'm only going to go about down to here, okay, because it's too big to go all the way. I'm just going to stamp down the color. Get this up out of my way a minute. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to find the center. So this is a 6-inch piece of paper. So here's the 3-inch mark. And I'm looking at the center down, the line down, going across down here. So this makes sure that my tree gets stamped on there nice and even. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Pam. Hi, Marva. Hi, Barb. So I stamped the tree first because it is my focal point, and because I'm stamping with the VersaFine Clair, which is an oil-based ink, I can use water-based inks over it and it won't move around on me. So I just want to get that good and soaked into the card. I'm just going to lift. So there's my focal point. Now that I have it and it's nice and centered, and that's why I didn't trim the paper first, because it's 6 inches, and so I can find the middle. Trying to find the middle of 5.5 or 5 1/4 is tricky. So because it's 6 inches and I need it to be 5 1/4, I need to cut off, well, I need one, so half an inch, half an inch and an 1/8 of an inch of each on each side. So there's half, and then an 1/8. Actually, I can just now go to 5 1/4. See, I missed the mark, didn't I? I don't know how I did that. because I'm an idiot. Okay. Let's just go to 5 here. Okay, yep, we're still in the center. So if this is going to be 5, then this needs to be 3 3/4. I'm going to go a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom. The main point of this is how to color and compose. Okay, got my focal point. It's fairly much in the center. It's trimmed down to the size I need. This is stamped down in the shady lane, so I'm going to get my silicone mat back here. And what I want to do is I want to also start by putting color in, okay? And I'm going to start by putting my, if you look, you'll see that I've got a light source back here. Okay, so I want my light source centered. No matter how I make my mountains, my light source needs to be centered. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with some shea butter. And I'm going to use the Lavinia stamps. And I'm going to tap that off really well because I don't want it dark. And think about, I'm going to go about a little more than halfway up and just start laying down color. And the colors are going to blend, so I'm not concerned about how, you know, how far out I go. In fact, I want to go a little bit farther. So I've got my yellow, my light source, and then you see how on this one, I've got my light coming up my tree. So I'm just going to flick this yellow upwards and downwards, just to make sure that I've got all that light in the right spot. I'm not too worried about down here because I'll be putting hills. Hi Linda, hi Cindy, hi Pam, hi Carla. Okay, so now that I've got this focal point here, I'm going to work on my basic grounding. So the piece of paper we ripped earlier, I'm going to use as a kind of a, I don't know, kind of a hill situation here. And I'm going to be using this spot collection here from Catherine Pooler. And I'm going to go in with the green tea. I've got my brush here, and these brushes clean off pretty good. I know it's stained, but it's not dirty. I cleaned them before I started. I'm just going to open up this mini, and I'm going to use this one as a tap. And I'm going to just tap down. I'm just going to stroke downwards here. Just throw that lighter green color in. Okay, so that's the start of my kind of hilly area. And then I want to go in with just a little bit darker with the eucalyptus, just to kind of give it some depth. I'm going to put my paper right back where it was, or as close as I can get it anyway. And I'm going to tap down, and I'm going to pull from the top just to the edge. So see, I'm starting up here and pulling it just to the edge. Needs a little bit darker. Okay. Get that covered. I don't want to pull it all the way down just yet. So what we're doing here is just getting some depth and dimension to our little hillside. See how the darkness adds the dimension? And I'm going to be putting another hill, but I don't want to use the same. Let's go, let me just rip a better hill here. And normally I just use my Lavinia hill masks, but not everybody has them, so I thought that I would do this, and you know, everybody has paper. Well, hopefully they do. So see here, now I've got this kind of little bit of a hill. I think I want a little bit more of a hill here. And you can cut these out too. You can use, come on, doesn't want to, I'm not used to nails, y'all. We'll just leave it. And this hill, I think I want it to be, yeah, I think I want it to be fairly even. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to dab this off, kind of clean it off because I'll be going in with the green tea. I'm going to do the same. Just going to pull that color down. And clear that off a little, go back in with the eucalyptus to get that little bit of darkness. And I don't want this too dark because then the black silhouette stamps won't show up. Just dabbing in darkness. Just to get that added dimension. There we go. So we've got our tree and we've got our hills. Now we need to get our sky. And for sky, I'm going to start in with the Daydream. And this is kind of a bluey green color. Let me just flip this over, make sure I get all the green off of here best I can. And I'm going to tap it onto the ink, and then I'm going to tap it off because you see it comes on pretty hard. And I'm just going to start going around in a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be blending it. See how I'm blending now? Got my circle, now I'm going to blend it out. I don't want it to be like, I want to get it so it gets kind of green in there. So that it's not a complete line, and it's okay if you go over your hills because the color is really pretty. So it doesn't matter. And I'm going to turn it over like this, and I'm going to start flicking this color down. Blend it in. And I want it darkest around these edges. And then I don't mind at all if it goes over these hills. I'll grab some ink from my little pad there. Flick in from this side. Do some little circular motions. It's okay if it's not fully like heavy because I'm going to be using another tool here shortly to enhance my night sky. And that's going to be my pastels. And not my pan pastels, but my regular pastels that Stacy Valentine sent me. Because there's a huge range of color and they're pretty easy to use. So now I've got pretty simple. Oh, cool. Congratulations, Pam. Thank you, Cindy. Today I went crazy. I chopped off all my hair, which I have been wanting to do for a long time, but just didn't because of COVID. And I got my nails done. I figured it's about time I start taking care of myself and not looking freaky all the time. So now what I want to do is I want to stamp in my silhouette stamps. And I'm going to go ahead and just clean off my surface here. If I can find my rag. I'm sure it's buried because I have everything piled up over here that I plan on using. Where are you, Rag? Well, we'll use a paper towel, whatever. I know one thing, I'm gonna have to use gloves if I'm using like mica sprays and stuff like that. Okay, so what I picked out, since on this one I did dancing fairies, so they're celebrating the Christmas spirit, I guess. I picked out some little silhouette animals, and they're both from Fairy Hugs and they're from Lavinia. And I just kind of want to keep them all in the right size range. So what I'm going to do, because remember our composition, I need them to kind of come around a circle in the tree, or a semicircle, I should say. So I'm just going to kind of lay them down where I think I want them. I think I like, this is Pippin. He's my favorite. You guys all know that. Hi, Tracy. No, I went and got it cut, and the lady, when I walked in there and I told her what I wanted, she said, "Are you sure?" Because my hair was really, really long and thick. And I said, "Look, historically, I have gone out and done pixie cuts from this length. So it's not, it's not a big deal." See, these animals are a little too big. Would go good on a slimline, but I need to keep them small. So let's go for a couple of mice. And these are Fairy Hugs mice. I like him, but he's looking the wrong way. So I need one this way. Let me grab one here. And well, I keep the smaller animals closer to the tree. I could probably get away with the foxes. Let's see, this fox has a really long tail that hangs out, so that makes it a problem. Thank you very much. This fox will work. And he's right about the right size range, you know, if you were looking at animals. Let's get him down a little. And again, I'm just working on placement here. And let's see which direction. Where's the other little rabbit that goes in here? I lost a rabbit. Oh, no. Well, these two won't work because they're facing the wrong direction. Okay. I don't want two rats there, or mice, or whatever. All right, let's see what else I have in my Lavinia repertoire. I need more animal stamps, I think. Little ones. I need at least one more because I feel really crooked. Oh, you know what? How about a child? No, because he's tiny compared to the fox. Here's a rabbit facing a, well, that's a hare, and he's too gigantic compared to the other guys. That's why the fairy circle works so perfect. I don't know. Way too big. They all need to be looking at the tree. That's all I have for animals that are right in the right size range. So we're just going to make that work. I mean, this little rat is cute. I guess he could be buddies here with the other one. Mouse, rat, whatever. Okay. Yeah, see, this is the thing about nails. You need to learn how to work your hands again. Let me just move all this stuff out of my way. You think the kid would have been all right? Maybe so. I guess the point here is that I actually thought about, and this would probably work on a, you know, in a different situation, these little gnomes around a tree, because they have little dies that go with them, so you could cut and color them and place them around the tree. Same principle. It doesn't really matter what we're putting down on here. What we're looking at is how to color this. Now, let me grab my mini Misty here. Oops, I'm always losing these things. All right, now that I have placement kind of how I want it, get my stickles out of the way here. Okay, everybody fall off. That's okay. Now, some of these will stamp better than others just because they're not brand new. Like, I've never used this little guy before. Little fox. Little Pippin. We're having a woodland holiday. Little rat. I want to think about spacing on these, but at the same time, I want them to look proper. You know what? I think him here, because he's right around the same size as Pippin, and they're both kind of looking up. So when you're doing something like this, you're pretty much telling a story. And this is the story we have to tell. That animals get Christmas too, or winter. They definitely get winter, right? Let me just flip this around. And let's see where I buried my VersaFine Claire Nocturne. Let me just get this stuff out of the way a minute. Here we go. And it'll probably take several passes. But I've been watching Lisa Taggart. I don't know if any of you have ever seen her. She is an amazing mixed media artist. And she uses a black pencil to fill these in to make them blacker, which I think is super cool. I actually ordered one. I have a black charcoal pencil. Yeah. See, I might be able to put something right there. Maybe I'll put a tree right there, because I'm still going to put more trees. Once I get all my focal subjects done, then I'm going to start the detail work. This just does not want to lay on that one crazy little mouse. Hi, Janine. She is, man. I love Lisa Taggart. I watch her videos continually and learn so much. And also with Tracy from Lavinia Stamps. Joe Rice is great. They're all great, but Lisa is just magical. Only thing is sometimes when I'm watching her videos, she does, you know, a lot of speed throughs and plays this music that makes me sleepy. Hi, Shar. I woke up with like a head cold this morning. I'm okay now, but it's trying to come back on me. Yeah, these are going to take multiple. Probably one at a time would have been better, but that's okay. And I probably need to re-ink this thing again. One thing I want to do is I want to make sure they're good and dry before I start, you know, adding color around them, because they will smear. Let me just give it a good rub here. Oh, do you have a cold too, Pam? Oh, yeah, I definitely don't have COVID. It's more than likely, it's just, you know, the barometer change, and I'm real sensitive to stuff like that. And then, so especially my sinuses, we've almost got the blackness we need here. And I'll just keep working at it until they get fully black. You can take a brush and paint the rest of the black in if you want to. But the reason that I like to use dye inks instead of oxides on a background like this is because it's kind of hard to stamp over oxides. You can kind of see through it. Okay. I can live with that. And I forgot to turn my sound down on my phone. Let me just go ahead and clean this off. I bought this stuff. It's supposed to smell like bubble gum. Yeah, I don't see it. Doesn't smell like any bubble gum I've ever had. It would be good if my rag would turn up though. Oh, no, that's not it. Well, let me just get a clean one. Whatever. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. And I stained my poor fox with the Catherine Pooler black ink. And my poor Pippin, but they'll live. I'm just gonna leave those in there. I don't want to sort out the packaging right now. Waste your guys' time. They're fine right where they are. All right. So, now where did I put the original? So we kind of are looking towards the same thing, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually get out first my pan pastels. And I'm going to ground these guys too, but I'm waiting for them to kind of dry. And I'm going to get out, and these are the only pan pastels I have, and I'm only going to be using the yellow in the pan pastels. And I just got this little makeup brush. I'm going to take this, tap it on here, and I'm going to create more light up and around the tree. And then just kind of spread it around. And I'll be adding definition back into the tree. Let's see how we're creating that light. Wipe some of that away. I'm going to be putting a star at the top of the tree, so I want to create a little extra light there, and then I'll just take my white and just lighten it up a little. Kind of blend it out. I have one of those little tool, you know, those little flat looking tool things, but I don't know where I put it. I put it someplace with my other things that I use for pastels that I can't find either. Okay. And there's that. But wait, there's more. Let me put this back in here. Okay. Now what I'm getting out here is my big box of Arteza pastels, soft pastels. And because I want to create some more color in here, it needs more color. And I'll show you how I work these. Because I don't think I've done any major demos with these. But I would like some kind of purple in here. And let's see. So there's 2 layers. Yeah, there's no purples down there that I want. 2 layers. Maybe I'll start in with some pink. Nope. There's the problem with too many colors, is trying to decide which one. I'm going to use the violet, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to create kind of a line right here, and then I'm going to smear it upwards. So see? I don't want to smear my little dog, but see, now I've got just a little touch of purple in here. Nothing major. I bought some pastel pencils too from Blix. I'm waiting for them to come. I'm going to create that line. And I'm just going to smear. Now I'm not doing too much, but it's actually a pretty light touch. And I could take, let me just grab a, here we go. Instead of doing this with my finger, let me do it with a Q-tip. So see how I just kind of smooth that out and then kind of just swipe it upward a little bit. And it's going to get me that little bit extra color that I'm looking for. And let's get some down here. Swipe it up. Can also take like a makeup brush or a makeup sponge and rub it directly on the pastel and pick up the color, but it doesn't get as intense as like you would with your pan pastels. But you can definitely pick up color and do it that way as well. See, that guy I don't think was dry. It's not nearly as intense. So if you want to go super light, do that. But if you press hard, you're going to get a line. So you want to keep your pressing very, very light. Unless you want a line. And then don't press light. And then I want some purple in my sky. These are inexpensive, so definitely worth playing with. See, just got a little light bit of purple going on here in the sky and on my finger. If I want to blend it even better, I grab a Q-tip. Now, if you have multiple colors of pan pastels, by all means. Mike, you're being really loud. This way you get a controlled color application. And let's go in with this really light green right here. Let's throw some light in here. Make sure my fingers are clean-ish. Not doing a whole bunch of this, but you see how it's going to give some depth to that sky. Thanks, Mac. Hi. I didn't see you come in. Hey, Abraham. Yeah, they do have names. This is light green. Let's see. What other color can we bring in here to really pop? Let's go with this blue right here, which is designated as teal. Yeah, it's nice. So suddenly your simply colored thing very easily becomes multicolored. Yeah, I like that teal in there. Not super happy with the purple down here. I think I'm going to try and fix that with a darker color. Let's try the sapphire. Yeah. Lightly. And smear. I don't need it all over it because some of the spots I'm happy with, but others I'd rather have them be darker. Q-tips. Okay, let me grab a... how the heck do you open these? I bought some baby wipes for this because I need to, you know, wipe off my hands so I don't get color where I don't want it. And this stuff will get everywhere. Let me just pick this up and wipe this off here. Let me put my pastel back. I'm not quite done with the pastels, but now I'm going to start working on the landscape. Ugh. Let me just put these over here out of the way. And we're going to pull out our tree again, which should still be on the block. Where'd you go? Okay. I must have set it over here. No. Okay, this is ridiculous. Where are you? Oh, there she is. All right. So remember when we tore this paper? Now the other side of it, let me make sure I've got them matched up, becomes the masked area. So I'm going to start making some trees. This isn't the right one. Where's the other one? Right here. Yep. That's that one. So, wait a minute. Let's make these match. Here we go. And I want to go in, I'm going to need something a little bit darker in the dark areas. So, let's go in with the twilight. Okay. And these trees have to be little, so I'm just getting the top of the stamp. And I'll do a second generation. So they're just kind of off in the distance. Stamp off. Go right about there. I want to keep them all kind of off to the side there. I don't want to detract from my major tree. Okay. Now I'm going to have just little baby trees growing. All right, where is it? There we go. Close enough. And I'm going to stamp off on all of those. And I'm just going to do tiny little baby trees. See all the baby ones? Hi, Crystal. Just reading back. Hi, Laura Ann. Making sure I catch everyone. Where'd you get kicked out of, Abraham? Go ahead and let that one come up over the one that I kind of missed on the hill. I think I need one more up over here. Up a little bit higher. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So we've got our little animals. And where there's the sample card. Now I lost the sample. Okay. Doesn't matter. Each one's different. I can't pick this up. Somebody teach me how to work with long nails. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to start some massive detail work here. I'm going to start out by bringing some darkness up into here, but not too dark. So I'm going back with the Daydream. And my brush. Let me grab my little dabbing page. Abraham, did you order some of these? Shopaholics Anonymous. So you see, I'm just lightly coming up from the bottom and darkening that bottom up, and that's pretty industry standard with this type of stamping, or, you know, mixed media, whatever. Just, you know, bringing focal point in, adding like a vignette. And I go heavier into the corners. And I'll probably add some more trees there, but I'm sticking with just the one stamp for my trees. I have tons of them, but I figure just about everybody has at least one tree stamp for the holidays. So just trying to make sure that you guys can use what you have. And if you don't have any of Kevin's stamps, I highly encourage, because they are great. I'm gonna do one, this type of a scene, but I have like a hillside with a lane going through it. Okay, just darken these edges here. Okay, so see how that, guys, how do you do this? Okay, there we go. See how that just kind of brings focus to this center here. I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy this cleans, just like that. And then sometimes I'll rub it on a paper towel too. So I ordered a couple more so I'd have some dedicated to greens, blues, and purples. I only have 4 right now. One I haven't even used. It'll probably be dedicated to grays. All right, so now we've got our colorful sky. We've got our little silhouette animals. I need to ground the animals here. So I'm just gonna, let's see, will this work? Yeah, I'm just gonna tear this off here because I don't need a gigantic piece. And basically make little places for them to sit. And I'll probably use this brush, and I'll use the Twilight. I'm just going to tap the brush in there, tap it off, and just basically brush along the edge here, creating a little grounding. I think I want to go ahead and ground him up here too. I'm not doing all the way across, I'm just doing the very edge here. He definitely needs to be grounded. Let's get him quite a bit here. And you just kind of got to look at it and decide, you know, what looks real. I mean, as real as it can get with fantasy stamps. Okay, we got our little guys grounded here. And these are just little makeup brushes I get on Amazon for super cheap. I get 50 of them for like $6. And it's got the foam tip end, and it's got this little brush. And these brushes are great for tiny detail work. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to be making some stars in the sky, of course. I know, yeah, like tweezers. I'm gonna actually go back and get my yellow pan pastel because I want to create some light in the sky. And I'm gonna grab, where did I put it? Oh my God. I had a little box with, oh, right here. I'm gonna grab a Q-tip, just a Q-tip. I'm gonna start adding little points of light here. And then I just take the other end and kind of smear them in a bit. Because I don't want it to be, you know, too obvious of a circle, but I do want it to provide the light from the stars I'm going to make in there. And we'll fade back a little bit too. So what I have is this dollar store Stylus Tool, okay? And what I do is I take my bleed proof white, and you could use any white, but I bought this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago because I was in Hobby Lobby and I spotted it. You ever do that? You just go someplace and you start looking at the art sections and you're like, oh, that might be cool. And I think I've seen Kevin using it. So I'm just going to take and tap it into that lid, and then I'm going to dab it off, and I'm going to just tap little points of light in here. Just grab what I dabbed off. Don't need very much at all. But this stays, you know, fairly opaque. And that's what I'm looking for. Need to find a star to put on the top of the tree. And I am going to deepen up the tree a bit too. You'll see. There's a lot of detail work to this kind of thing. If you really want it to look cool. Okay, one right there. So I've got my major stars. Now I'm going to do my minor. Can I list the stamp names used from Lavinia? Yes, Laura Ann, no problem. Let's see here. I used Pippin Mini. Let me find, oh, here I'll just put them away while we're talking. I don't know what I did with his little, see what I mean? I lose those little acetate things. Where is it? Here it is. This is Pippin Mini. He is my 100% favorite stamp. Can you see the number? And in England, they call these pound stamps. So they're basically, I don't know, maybe $2 in the US or $2.50 or something like that. And then I used, did I use the foxes? Yeah. Let me put them back here. Get off of there. Where's the other guy? Right here. And there's 2 of these fox sets. I don't have the other one. This one here is Fox Set 1. Thanks, Cindy. That's all I used from Lavinia. The other ones I used from the Little Mice are from Fairy Stamper. And they are called mice. FHS 259. Okay. Now I'm going to do my minor stars. So same thing, tiny little thing, but I'm going to dab it off really well because I just want little light touches. And I'll go back into where I dabbed and grab more, rather than going back into my deep. So you can barely see them, but they're there. The point is not to have a bunch of gigantic stars. If it gets gummy, wipe it off. See how tiny those are? We're going to be putting some glitter in there too. But it does, if you get, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it creates depth in the sky by having them smaller and lighter. So the different sizes would determine how close the stars are. See, I made some a little bit closer. More over here. There we go. And then I just wipe off my stylus. Put the lid back on. You could use like, oh, I don't know what you call those. They're like pointy fountain pens, I guess calligraphy pens. And dip them in this stuff. And this bleed proof white is harmful if swallowed. It doesn't tell me whether it's ink or paint or what it is, because Hobby Lobby was brilliant enough to put the sticker over the top of the warning. No, there's basically just a warning. It contains zinc sulfate, so it's an eye irritant. You want to make sure you clean your hands off really well after you're done using it, and your mat and whatever else you might be touching. Fountain pen nibs, thank you. Hi, Regina. I don't know if I said hi to you or not. Let me just get some of this excess ink off here. And now, I'm going to bring this back over. And I'm going to start doing some detail here. Starting with the tree. I've got a Posca pen. It's a brown one. And I'm going to create the trunk kind of. And just to create some lines here. This isn't a fine liner, so you have to just get a really super light touch. I'm going to let that dry a minute. Is it ink? Okay, I'm just going back and reading comments. Throw in the Ursa's. Thank you, Mac, like I know how to do that. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to add some detail into the bottom. I'm going to grab maybe I want a couple little itty bitty baby trees there at the very bottom. Just to kind of balance that out. So I'm going to go in with the Shady Lane for the, no I'm not, I want the Twilight I think. Yeah, nope, going in with the Shady Lane. I need a piece of paper to stamp off on. Want them very light. Just a couple here and there. Oh yeah, I like that. Figure out where I'm going here. It's all the same tree. little sproutlings growing up that want to grow up to be just like their dad. See, I'm just touching the tip of it. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Oh, wouldn't that be the dippers then? That's the technical term that I know. Just want to wipe off that excess ink. And this should be about dry. So I'm going to grab one of my pastel pencils again, or my little square, whatever. My soft pastels. Get this out of the way. And I want a green that's pretty close to that green. I almost think it's more of a olive green. Let's try it. And all I'm going to do is just, no, way too light, way too light. Okay. You could use a pen to do it too, by the way. All right, let's go in with this green. Do I have any other greens on this side? Yeah, those are too light. It's just not the right shade. Okay. I have another idea. Get these out of the way. Sometimes you're not going to find the color you need, but I do have a color that will work. And that's going to be this eucalyptus. I'm going to go ahead and use this little brush that I used before. I'm just going to kind of wipe it off on the paper towel. And I'm going to dab it in there, and then I'm going to dab it off. And I'm just going to come in and just add a little bit of color. I guess I didn't really need to dab off. Just lightly tap color in. Because I don't want the trunk to look too stark. I want it to show up, but not super. And I want the tree to have its greenness. I was watching a video earlier and it kept playing Deck the Halls. So now it's stuck in my head. Not that I mind that song, I do like that song, but it's stuck in my head. I need a little bit of extra darkness around here. So there, I've added my color back into my tree. Oh, no problem. Whatever, I'm just gonna aim for 5:30 on Tuesdays, and maybe I'll make it and maybe I won't. So I need a star. And before, what I used was a piece of cutout star. I have some really teeny tiny stars, and I'm positive that I have a star die. Let me see here. Let me grab it. I'm positive I have multiple star dies. Get this out of the way. See if I can find it. Let me just move that candle so I don't accidentally start a fire. Am I still going? Yep. Okay. I'm sure that I have a Tim Holtz. Is there a star on this one? No. have hearts. Where are my stars? Oh, my stars. Where are you? They're probably in my Christmas bucket. I have a box for all my Christmas stuff. Because they're not in here. Okay. I cut out a bunch of them already. I just don't know where to put them. And we had that conversation, all of us, all the time, right? All right. Starlight, Starbright. Where are you? If I don't find one, I'm just going to make one. There, no stars here. Okay. See? This one has some little stars in it. I don't think I've even opened this one yet. Okay. Yep, I have. Now I gotta figure out where the stars are. Why are these? They're combined. Oh, those are itty bitty. I think they're too small. They don't even look like stars. They look like asterisks. Well, let's just cut one out and find out. Grab a little piece of... No, I don't want to use that gold. Let me grab a piece of gold scrap somewhere here. See what these turn into. Oh, thank you, Chow. I didn't see the question. They're photopolymer, high quality stamps. I buy mine at Del Bellows. They are out of the UK, so they do sell some at Simon Says Stamps. But I buy them from Del Bello because they have everything I need there. Even, like, there's a new release. It's on pre-order for us here in the US, but... Now let's see if these stars will work. No, it's not... See, it's not star-shaped enough. It's too asterisky. Let me see. Maybe it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll just leave it because I don't know where. I have like that whole falling stars dies. And that's where I cut out a bunch of gold stars and put somewhere that I don't know. We'll just live with this one. Where'd that bag go? Here it is. Ah! Stupid bags. Because they're folded in half, they don't want to stay open, and then they rip. But I like to keep them inside the bag because I've lost dies by having them loose in this thing. What are you guys doing? Okay. Get that out of the way. Let's get my little wax pencil and flip this over if I can. That'll be fine. I don't care for like just plain old coloring. I've got adult coloring books that people send me thinking I need coloring books that have the F word on them, but I don't really. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Oh, you didn't? Yeah, it does. I saw Tim demo it, so my glasses got dirty. Okay, so now what I want to do here is I want to add some stickles. I think I'm going to go with the gold stickles. But before I do that, I think I will. I want to add some glitter in the tree, and let me grab. Oh, okay. Sure will, Mac. I forgot what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, I'm looking for glitter. I'm gonna put some glitter in the tree. I'm gonna go with this really fine gold glitter. It's kind of a yellowy gold. And I don't know where these came from, probably Walmart. Okay, and where is my little glue pen? So I've got this little glue pen, Quickie Glue. And I like to make sure it's running. Okay. And then I'm just gonna add little dots around the tree. Just randomly. Now there's still wet ink on here, so the glitter will try to stick to it, but it'll brush off later. Don't look, Pam. And I'm gonna also add some glitter along the top of this little hill. Oh. Mac, did you put your address on there? I didn't see it if you did. I'm going to thump this twice. And that'll get off the majority of it. The rest I'll brush off once the glue dries. Now this is the tricky part, is this thing is tiny. And furthermore, I always say don't do glitter on my mat, and then I forget and I do it on my mat. And it's very hard to clean off the mat. You basically have to take it to the sink and clean it. And I just pour as much back as I can. If there's a bunch left, I don't care, toss it. I'm not gonna mess with that tiny amount. 17 guns and 0 stamps. Okay, so we got our glittery. Now we're gonna go in with the stickles. And I'm just gonna make sure it's running properly. And I'm just gonna add little bits of stickle here and there among the stars. And I'm using gold because it's kind of the theme here with the tree and stuff. Little one here on the hill. Get on there. Well, that got too big, but that's okay. I bought these stickles. I figure I might as well use them. One more right here for good measure. Damn. You guys are funny. Don't get me going, I'll start coughing. Now, we'll do a sentiment because I already picked one out. And it kind of matches, but I don't want white, so I'm going to scoot that out of the way for a minute. And I'm just going to take my tweezers and tap that in the shea butter because it's a light enough tone. See, I knew you were going to get me going. And then just kind of wipe it off. So then it's kind of muted down a little bit. And actually, I want to get the edges too. Take that in there. Have I hit my hour mark yet? Oh, I went over. I'm sorry, guys. Almost done. And I'm going to let that dry while I get a card base for this. And the other one I made the gold card base like you guys saw me do on a live the other night. See, I've got glitter here. The only way I'm going to get that off is in the sink. Let me see here. What card base do I want? Let me grab a handful here and see. And I just like to kind of lay it down on there and see how it's going to look. No. Okay, I have an idea. Since I forgot that I made that a little bit smaller, I can do some gold too. Hey, Debbie. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this gold. Sorry about the glare. And this stuff is kind of crappy, so I'm not even worried about saving any. I'm going to make a mat. I'm going to go 5 1/4 by 4. And take my card, get my glue. And just normal gluing. But see, I have to be careful. I can't be pressing and rubbing on this because, well, it's got that glitter on there. I'm just going to rub all my glitter off. The glitter I don't want rubbed off. So let's just kind of get that kind of even. See what I mean about if you do this kind of cardstock, it's slippy slidey. I just don't want that excess glue hanging over because that looks funky. I'm getting a baby wipe here. Just getting the very tip of it and clean that off. Y'all, I even put eye makeup on today, which I haven't worn eye makeup in years. Just to get out of that funk, I guess. See, look what that did. I'm not happy about, I don't like this paper at all. This came from Hobby Lobby. And it's that paper, the paper, I don't know, the name brand stuff. The Hobby Lobby brand stuff. Yeah. That's going to be pretty. I know. Yeah, Deb's the purple person. Okay, and I got smear on there. That's okay. What happened to my glue? I don't know what happened there. Go ahead and glue this one down, and I'm not gonna, pop it up or anything. Not necessary. Stickles, goobers. Don't put it on upside down. move it into place, stick it down. And again, I'm just lightly sticking it down because I don't want to disturb my glitter, but I do want to finish the card. So, as I started to go earlier, I'm going to take my yellow Posca. Hi, Lynn. Oh, Tracy, other Tracy, okay. See, I keep forgetting. My name is also Tracy. Well, I don't forget my name is Tracy, but I'm just making some dots. Nothing, no particular kind of pattern or anything, just dots. Just for some added color. So I'll do some yellow and I'll do some pink. Hopefully tomorrow I bought some pastel colored Posca. So I only have 5 colors. Let's put a couple of pink spots in here, just to add a pop of color. Not a bunch. And these will dry back a little bit, not be so bright. All right. Now, I don't know where to put this. I don't want to put a sentiment. I think right there. Fa la 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 la, stop. I'm gonna get my tea roller because I do want this on here straight and push everything out of my way. Lay it straight. Where did I decide I wanted that? Right here. And now I move my ruler. Okay, so just to, I'm done with the card, and just to kind of recap, what we did was we stamped our focal in the center, making it mostly at the top third, and then we started going in with the colors. And then, actually, those look like they're dry enough I can brush them off. I'm just going to take one of my little hard brushes and brush the excess glitter off. Right onto my mat, because I already know I need to wash it. And we used the Catherine Puller minis in the Spa Collection Paradise Found. And mostly we used Daydream and Eucalyptus and green tea. And we used the Shea Butter for our yellow. We used a yellow pan pastel. We used some regular pastels and some purples and some greens, some glitter, some stickles, some Posca pens, and that's your composition. I can never get them straight. Yeah, me too. I went over, so, and I apologize for that. But, guys, I do want to thank you for stopping by and hanging out tonight. It's been a blast. I hope that you learned something, or if not, we're just entertained chatting with each other. And I hope you guys have a good night. So there's the one that I did with the fairies, and this is the one I did with the animals. You can use anything you want or leave it plain even, be just fine. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all later.